Welcome to Business Talk with Buddy.
I'm a little nervous myself. This is man, it's my first one. You're my first person, so
Yay! Oh yes, you're a newbie. Oh my gosh. Can I say I get to de-versionize you? Can I say that? Is
yeah,
that
that's it. I have to say the same thing. Yeah,
Ooh.
like, like I said, I've been doing some aquas with my daughter. And,
Mm-hmm.
it's been fun. It's been fun, honestly. It's
Mm-hmm.
been fun. She's definitely a natural at it, and she definitely helped me out. I'm like, man, I'm so nervous, so still.
No, kudos to your daughter.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm actually gonna have her one of the episodes. She's gonna interview me, so it's gonna be like
Oh,
a special episode. Yeah, it's gonna be
great.
fun, fun and
Oh
hilarious.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. But hey, welcome to Business Talk with Buddy.
Yay. I'm excited. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
yes. So everyone, you're now tuned in to Business Talk with Buddy. We have Christy. Is Angelique or should we say Smith? How do you want it done? I'm not
Angelique.
Angelique. Okay, Christy Angelique.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's very interesting because we met over Facebook. I added you some years back, and actually messaged you. And I'm like, we were talking for a little bit. Like, yo, what do you want? I'm like, just trying to be friends.
Go back and read that.
Just trying to be friends, But I mean, I definitely get it. Like the random person just messaging you out of the blue, so it's kind of funny. And then like a few years later, then now we interact on business things. Bought a shirt from you. We've been able to interact and just different things. So it's awesome. Just how things transpired.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it started out as a request, a something request, and then boom, now we have this. So it's been awesome. I've been enjoying your posts and everything else too. So
Oh, thank you.
yeah, so it's just been great. So yeah, then you got as you call it, a multi passionate entrepreneur. You have multiple things coming in,
Yes.
you know. So yeah, so why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hey, okay. So my name is Kristy Angeli, and as Buddy, thank you so much for the invite to be on your podcast, your business podcast. I'm really excited about everything that is taking place in your life, and I'm gonna have to go back and look at the messages. Oh my gosh, forgive me of my rudeness. Oh my gosh. I'm a multi-passionate entrepreneur, and what that is, I have many, many passions. I have many, many talents. And I express those to my fullest potential. I leave no stone unturned. I feel like if the vision is given to me, I'm supposed to do it. And it's a little messy. It is. It's a little messy because sometimes we can go ahead of when things are actually supposed to be released, not really fully aware or knowing all the ins and outs of how to handle it properly, or the market area, or how to target, and all these things. It could be so messy. So I'm telling you, being a multi-passionate entrepreneur, and over the years I actually started business when I was, I want to say 7 or 8 years old. The lemonade stand. Everybody wanted the lemonade stand and all those things. So my lemonade stand was selling candy. And so I began to sell candy and stuff like that. And then after that, it moved from selling candy to I used to read these books called The Babysitters Club. And so I wanted to do babysitting, what I'm saying? But I'm like, I don't know if I really like children, if that's my area. So I just had that thought, and then it moved from there to, I started a dog walking service.
Mm.
And so I would walk dogs. I asked my uncle if I was able, because he had always had multiple dogs. And us ourselves, we had multiple dogs. I'm talking about 20 dogs, 30 dogs at one time. So I asked my uncle if I could, I'm exchanging business, negotiating at a young age, like, well, I walk your dog for this long for X amount of money, and I'll do it on these days, and da da da. I pulled him to the side and shared with him my vision for walking dogs and stuff. And so I got the business, I got the gig. He's like, okay, well, since you asked. So, and that's what I did, and that was great. That helped me to gain my courage to talk to put myself out there even more. I was never scared of asking for what I wanted. So moving forward, I started, man, I'm telling you, I started whimsical. It wasn't Whimsical Events Galore, which is my event planning company. It wasn't that at the 2012. It was CCC Management
Okay.
Company. I was like, I wanted to do consulting. I wanted to be able to write up strategies for churches and business on how to get there. So I'm already thinking then what I'm doing now. And I've already knew, like, I knew the vision, I knew what I was wanting to do. And so it was just trying to figure out how to make it happen. And so now I have branded myself. Kristy Angeli is you guys, that's my middle name. My dad gave me Angeli. He named me. And so I'm taking Kristy Angeli as my public or influencer name. And I'm using the platform that I've been given to not only encourage business owners and being able to go into those places where they're feeling as if they need a little bit more structure or helping strategize or getting their self off the ground. You know, I'm able to think fast. So if I'm a problem solver, so I can you tell me something, I'm already having a solution. Oh, wow. I was talking to you about that the other day. Oh, I see this. Let's, you know, and I'm like, I have to back because I don't want to feel like I'm taking over somebody, but I'm automatic. My mind works really fast when I can hear it and I see the problem. I know how to fix it already. So I'm a problem solver, you know, a natural born problem solver. Marketing myself or rebranding or branding myself as an influencer, it has given me greater platforms and reach. One of my areas is the single moms. So I'm really, really big on making sure the single moms have a voice and building an arena, an empire for other single moms to pursue their purpose, for them to know that it's okay. You don't have to settle. You don't have to settle for the 715. You know, you can create your own wealth. You can create your own. And so that's, so I've been in business. I've been, oh my gosh, this is over 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And if you're looking at something that I LLC legalized, you know, so 10 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So what business or businesses are you currently doing right now?
Okay. So I have, Kristy Angeli is my self-named brand. And so with that, that's, you have Whimsical Events Galore. I just recently, I'm always looking for ways to expand and to branch myself and to grow, make myself more valuable. I recently unintentionally finished culinary school. So it was not my intention to go to school, but I so happened to go to a meeting with a friend. And I ended up, like, while I was there, I was like, well, might as well see. Just let me, I ain't got nothing else to do. I'm sitting here, so let me fill out this paperwork. And so I got in. I was like, oh, so it's real. So I got to go for real now? They sending me like your start date. Oh, so I got an actual start date. I was just doing so, you know, and that was like a year ago, of course. And so, so I'm a culinary graduate, so which means I'm a chef. I am a certified chef, which I have in-house Whimsical Events Galore, which is my not catering company. It's my event planning company. So I'm in-housing that with my catering company or chef side. So I have that. I am a public relations strategist. So I help solve problems. I help brand people and put them in a positive light for their company and all those things. So public relations strategist. So that's What's Your I Can is a platform that I have. Yes. That's what you was like. Oh, what's your I Can? Yes. Okay, let me tell you about What's Your I Can. That started for me. I was in a women's shelter. My children and I, we were in a women's shelter. Yeah, I know, right? A lot though. So in 2017, we were ended up in one of many moved to Texas women's shelter, and so I was bawling on one day in the middle of the floor after my children had went to school and everything, and I'm like, I don't know my purpose. I felt just so discombobulated
Mhm.
and trying to figure out, how to pick my life back up again, where to start. I knew the vision, I knew the purpose. So all of those things didn't die, but now I'm in an unfamiliar place in a
Mhm.
whole new location. Now, how does this work?
Mm.
What is it? And so Philippians, for those Philippians 4:13, if you don't, or Philippians 4:8, I don't remember, but it says I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. That was like,
Whatever.
I rolled my eyes. I did. I did. I rolled my eyes. And so, but I said, now, what's your I can?
Mm.
And I got to thinking about it, and I began to really explore it. I really began to like break open the details of I can,
Mm.
and really making it personal. Like, I'm in a women's shelter, and you talk about what's your I can. I don't feel like I can do anything right now, but what
Mm.
is it on a microscopic level, or what can you do? So I was like, I could just be here. I have that right. I
Mm.
have that right to heal. I have that right to
Mm.
get myself back
Come on.
together. I have my right to cry when I need to cry. All of this is good for me. All of this is okay. So in that moment, I began to speak to myself in that manner. And instead of rushing the process, I allowed myself to be there.
Yeah.
I can just be here, and whatever comes my way, I am okay with it. If I'm feeling lost because I just went through such a traumatic event, and so it's okay. It's okay for me to not know which direction to go in. This is your safety place right now. This
Mm.
is a place for you to get yourself together, relax, stop trying to push and bulldozer your way over everything. And that's what I
Mm.
do. I'm like, hey, it happened. It happened. Let's keep it
Yeah.
going. And I was like in a place to where I couldn't do that. I couldn't bulldozer my way over this. So I had to just rest in that, and allow the healing to take place, allow my mind to, to kind of settle and take in everything that was going on. So that's what's your I can. It's giving you the freedom, giving you the right to be exactly where you are without everybody else's perspective and saying, oh, you should be here by now. Oh, you should be over that by now. Nope,
Woo.
nope, nope. That's for you. Don't come to me. That's my boundary.
Yeah.
If I'm hurt, I have to tell somebody else, don't take my right from me. Don't take my
Yeah.
right to cry. Don't take my right. This is where I am. It doesn't mean I have to stay there, but let me feel it. It's
Mm.
okay for me to feel this, but I'm not going to
Mm.
dwell in it and cause it to consume me. But that's where I'm able to show compassion to someone else. I'm able to extend the hand. If you allow me to feel these, I'm not a robot. So
Yeah.
that's the whole. And what's your I can has really, that was in 2017. It has really expanded into, oh my gosh, like it has taken on legs of its own. It's a baby. It has grown to where it's a store,
Yeah.
and it's what's your I can and company, so what the company is gathering other purpose driven people who have they need a place to be creative, with
Yeah.
their jewelry, but it's a what's your I can is a luxury. It's turning into this luxurious shop or luxurious retail where it's affordable luxury though. It's
Yeah.
like you can walk into this place. I was looking up some actual buildings the other day because you'll be able to walk into this place and all you would see is purpose.
Yeah.
All you
Yeah.
you will be so inspired by the on another level, so that's what's your I can. That's my platform. That's my baby. I do seminars from that. I have a book that
Wow.
I'm writing from that. It's called What's Your I Can, realizing your I can in purpose, business, and family. And actually, I'm pushing to get that out by spring. Actually, this book bit
Mm.
I started writing this book in
Oh wow.
2016, and like this year has given me a lot of great nuggets. Pandemics, trying to realize your I can right here. So many
Yeah.
people are closing down, so many
Yeah.
people are losing, and so many people are taking on other people's I can. Oh, I'm going to do this business because hey, or I'm going to, whatever the case may be. So during 2020 last year and now 2021, it's really a good place for people to get a firm foundation on who they are. What's your I can? Is like, regardless of everything that has happened, realize your purpose, realize how you're able to uh, rise above it. You don't have to sink to any level of anything. You don't give anybody else that decision making power. That belongs to you, and that's what's your I can. It's your decision making power.
Yeah, great. That is awesome. That is awesome. Wow.
Thank you.
I'm just in awe. I mean,
No.
it's so interesting because like a lot of business ideas come from our lowest point.
Mhm.
Our lowest points. And usually even just prove that with, with what's your I can. And then you also have the podcast and
Yeah.
then
Oh yeah.
usually events galore. I mean, you got so many things. I'm like, how do you keep track of it? But I kind of get it now. I kind of get it now. With my
Mhm.
business and now doing the podcast, I actually have ideas for another podcast,
Mhm.
wanting to write 2 books that I've already started. So it's kind of like,
Mhm.
oh my goodness. And then just everything
Exactly.
else, you know what I mean? So I definitely get it. I definitely get it. Wow. I'm just in awe.
Yeah, it's like it just starts to branch out on its own. And if you're
Yeah.
not, and like I was saying earlier, you gotta, I've really had to learn how or when to release. I've
Mhm.
started to learn that now. Like literally, I just started to learn that. So you're ever growing, you're ever evolving. You never, there's no always a cookie cutter. There are some that has that but for you, it's because I think it's a unique thing for me to learn how to, you know well, this didn't work, or I released too much at this time,
Mm.
and but that, I think that that's what makes me more raw. I allow people that chance to see my mess ups. I allow people
Yeah.
that chance to see that, oh, well, let me slow down and take it back a moment. Some people like to do everything behind the scenes and then present everything,
Yeah.
like as if it's, oh, it wasn't anything that was strenuous. But for
Mm.
me, I live my life out loud.
Yeah.
I think I've always have lived my life out loud. And so with that said, even, the different aspects of Christy Angeli and the things that I put out, it's like, well, you're going to see all the hangups. You see the podcast, learning how to reinvent, revamp, and really take it to that place of being a show, building, being a I want to be the next Oprah Winfrey in that
Mm.
area, and
Yeah.
so that's what got me started in the podcast. When I was younger, watching Oprah, my mom like, hey, Oprah's on, so and so that got me, really, and I love communication on any level. So I just got into being a writer for a magazine company, and that's kind of fell
Mm.
into my
Yeah.
lap, So I'm a writer. I do blogs, and so it's like things just begin to manifold, or it began to unfold itself into
Mm.
different areas. Oh, well, yeah, you may have one idea, but this is the form that it can take on. So it's,
Yeah.
it's, it's a lot. It's a good thing, but got to learn how to balance it all. Got to learn how to, okay, like, yeah, you may have this, but now is the time for you to release this.
Mm.
Pull back on this one right now and let this one go to it's just and I look at other people who have multiple companies, and how they what they do and how they do and all that stuff, and rebranding themselves, and just finding out who they are, how that company can take a voice of its own, or letting it grow, and not trying to have so much control. What is it? How does it want to formulate itself? Let it be. This one, Whimsical Events Galore, I don't do podcasts for that one. I
Yeah.
do it for What's Your I Can. That's the so that would don't have a podcast, or what areas, how are they wanting to, how does it want to present itself to the world,
Yeah.
so
And you're being authentic about it.
yeah.
Like, and that's the most powerful thing. It's like I was thinking about something actually yesterday. This is one of those random thoughts. Your gift will make room for you. And I just begin to, I genuinely like begin to think about that, and how people say, like, well, you like when the time is right, the room will be there.
Mhm,
But that's not what it's saying. It's saying
mhm,
your gift will make room for you. You know what I mean?
mhm.
So you operating in your gift, it will begin to make the room for you to do what you need to do. 'Cause we all have these desires and these talents and gifts and ambitions, but just putting your foot out, just putting your foot out there, just getting your face out there, it begins to open up everything else to where now all these goals and desires and gifts will just come together, and then boom, now you're it's making this room. If that makes any sense, like
It
you said,
does.
I started What's Your I Can, and then boom, that it's leading out to podcasts and seminars and different things. But it's just you being you, in your gift, making the room for you to do what you need to do, so you can leave the unnecessary baggage behind.
Exactly.
So it's just awesome, man, and it's awesome just to see that you're authentic about it.
Well, thank you.
And allow it to organically unfold, if that makes any sense.
It does.
I
Yes.
think that's something that too many people try to do with business. They try to force it, but you can't force a business. You can't force people to want to buy your product.
Right.
It has to naturally happen. It has to organically happen. It has to be able to touch people in a way to like, this is the product I want. I want this shirt, or I want to listen to this podcast, or I want to hire this person for my events, or I want to buy this planner over this planner.
Yes.
So it's just different things like that. So that's awesome.
It
That
is
awesome.
And I think it comes from when people want to gravitate to what you have, is because they see you.
Yeah,
it's an extension of who you are, and they want to connect with you in some type of way. And so, come on now.
Oh,
is this a listen? Are we are we going to church, or are we staying? Listen, I can take it either way right now. It's an extension.
Your gift will make room for you.
Yeah. And so they're just wanting to find a way to connect with you. And so they buy the mug because they want to have that bragging right. Like, I know them. It's like as personal as they can get. I want, because it just give them some type of sense of greater connection. So when you are operating, as you said, in your authentic self and not trying to masquerade behind anything else, people value that so much more. They value your truth and integrity. And so in everything that I do is with integrity, even with my shows or whatever, I screen, people that I invite, is very, very, you got to have not just have a story, but I screen people. It takes me a long time because I go back and I really put those questions to tailor that individual, because I have people listening, and I don't want to just be, saying things. Somebody told me, I you know what, it was my counselor. I was going to counsel. I was in counseling. I had to go to counseling. Yeah. Are you? Hey, go. It's needed.
The first hit me, and honestly, it had to have been like God, the universe, however you want to put it, it's like, boom, therapy. I'm like, ugh. But last year I healed from so much last year, to where now I see how things are authentically and organically playing out. Like even with the podcast was just birthed last year. Actually right before I went to vacation.
Yeah.
And we were talking about, I sent it an email, and then it just like, she's like, do a podcast. I'm like, I've always wanted to do podcasts. I'm a little shy, like I'm actually kind of shy. She's like, you got the right energy for it. And I'm like, yeah, but
I mean, you do.
It's just like, whew, it's like, do it. I got back and hit the ground running, and then boom, 17 days later, I got on the podcast. So.
Yes, and I've been enjoying. I read some of the things that you were. Oh my gosh, what tickled me was, I think I commented on it. Be like Buddy.
My best friend actually did that picture. Like, so she does like goofy things, like. She is so goofy.
That was so hilarious. I loved it. I love it. That was great. I'm like, I'm gonna be like Buddy. Listen, I'm following Buddy. Buddy, my friend.
I was just sitting there. It was so funny because I was trying to sell her a cell phone, and it's through Cricket, and apparently Cricket doesn't unlock their phones until 6 months later. So I was on the phone with them arguing back and forth, like, yo, I spent a bunch of money. And on top of that, I have 4 people. My line has 4 people, and we just bought 3 new phones within the past week and a half. I'm like, yo, y'all need to up this and unlock this phone. So she was like, man, it's like how everything just came together in the picture. I'm like, oh my God. But she is hilarious though.
Yeah. Keep her around. That was great. I was like, that made me want to be like Buddy. But don't sit in Buddy chair though. I was like, I won't.
Yeah, and she meant that so serious too, because we always say, and I'm actually doing another podcast and have her on it. Not for this particular brand, but I want to do another one. I'll talk about that later on another date. But I want to have her on it, but she means like that. So again, we don't sit in Buddy's chair, because this is Buddy's chair.
This is
like nobody can take his spot. She tells me all the time, it's like, bro, ain't nobody taking his spot. Like,
yeah.
But I'm like, oh,
yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah.
I loved it.
Hey, that's something I've learned too. Even with the podcast, is trying to market it. Like I'm not one to boast and brag about myself. I was talking to somebody the other day, and great things has been happening even just this year, and I haven't said even a half of it. Because I don't talk about myself much, so it's kind of like trying to talk about myself to get this podcast out there. Because people need it. I'm doing it for businesses, and I'm doing it for customers. To bridge the gap.
Yeah.
But that's another podcast too.
It's an awesome thing. Yeah.
It is. I think so. I definitely think so.
Trying to learn how all of it works together, what you're doing. I think that's the beauty of being an entrepreneur and just a creative in general. Just being a creative. We're going to use that. Being a creative. I think that's the beauty, because you can't tell me what my thing is supposed to look like, because this is my mind. Yeah. This is how I see it. This is how I hear things. This is how I'm seeing things, manifest or inside. And this is how I want to put it out to the world. And so that's what makes the world so unique and beautiful, when everybody can have their creative juices out there without it being so cookie cutter. We're not the Stepford wives, we don't have that everybody doing the same thing, looking the same way and stuff mentality. Yeah.
Look at Target and Walmart.
I know.
Like they're they seem so similar, but they're so different. Like even when you walk into their stores, like the energy is different. Like you go to Walmart, it's a different energy. You go to Target, it's a different energy. The outlook. It's kind of like, what if Target decided it would be like Walmart? A Walmart decided to be like Target.
Right.
It wouldn't work. One of them would fail, and that's why so many businesses do fail. Is they're too busy trying to be like the other, like somebody else.
Because they don't have their own vision,
I think they're scared of their own vision.
Oh.
Because think about it. Like, I believe that God gives an individual a desire and a vision. If something's in you, it's there for a reason. It's just up for you to operate in it, or step out and walk in it, or or even just take the first couple steps and somebody grab your hand and say, "Yo, let's do this together. I know how we can build onto it." So if someone has a business idea, it's supposed to succeed. I believe
it is.
I believe it's supposed to succeed. Whether it takes a year, whether it takes 2 years, whether it takes 3 years, 100 years, it's supposed to succeed. Whether you pass it down to your kids, like, yo, you build this up, and then boom, it explodes. So, but too many people are trying to like look at everyone else and say, yo, how can I be like them, or how can I compete with them? When the reality is, the only competition you have is the person you look in the mirror every day.
Right, exactly.
Yourself. How do you take yourself and put yourself into this business? And that's what I love so much about you. It's because it's like you take yourself and you put it into all of your businesses. Like a small portion of you is in your business, and then each one honestly aligns so well with one another in some way, shape, or form. But it's like it's you. It's you. It's not nobody else. Like maybe some similarities as to someone else, but it's not them. You know what I mean? So it's just awesome. It's just awesome. We gotta move forward. I'm not sure how long Zoom's giving us. I think it says 40 minutes, but how is COVID affecting your businesses? Yes.
Actually, I have been getting more offers than I can keep up with. I would say that, and having to, it has affected it in one way of me trying to find those vendors and trying to get things out because of COVID. Things are shutting down, or things are not, and so it makes it hard to get myself in position that I want to get it in, especially with one of the things that I have with West Area I have shirts and other things that I want to get out. But finding a vendor has been extremely hard, especially back since I'm back in Texas and stuff. It's been extremely hard because of well, we can't do this, or they're not, whatever the case may be. I've been getting all types of runaround. So with that, I kind of had to like really slow down. I really had to take a moment to step back and say, okay, well, just because this has happened doesn't cause anything to come to an end. See, you know, like I said, I'm a problem solver, and sometimes the hardest problems to solve is your own, because you looking right at it, you know, and you can't really see it. So I'm learning that, okay, let me get outside opinions. Let me get somebody, you know, else's expertise. I was thinking about this yesterday about doctors. You know, when a doctor gets sick, you know, he can't, or have a heart problem, he can't go and do surgery on himself. He has to go to a doctor. So that's the same way that I was looking at the strategies that I feel like was given to me on, you can't just doctor or operate on yourself. You see that this, so, you know, go to someone else to see what they're doing. How, well, maybe this aspect of what's your I can right now has to come to a halt, you know, and just, you know, focus on other areas, or as a shelf, trying to get, catering, well, maybe because of COVID, many people are fearful, they're trying. So what can I do to still ensure that I'm COVID safe? I'm following the rules. One, I have a degree, so that alone tells you I know the ins and out of sanitation already. And now on top of COVID, it's just making it even more airtight for me to implement these things in the way I market myself and present my dishes and all those things. So with that, like I said, I'm a problem solver. So I don't look at it as a stopping point or blocking or I can't do. It's like, now, well, what are other people doing? I just reached out to a chef the other day. He works for the Compass Group. I don't know where he is right now. I don't know if it's Las Vegas or wherever. I just took it up on myself. I was looking up a way, because I know the vision I have for Whimsical Events Galore. It's not on a mediocre level. I want to be like the Compass Group. I want to be like Aramark. I want to be like Levy. I want, so I have that goal. So I reached out to this chef. I have no idea who he is. He's never heard of me. I've never heard of him. It's in my research. And so I looked him up on Facebook. I sent him a message. I told him who I was. I told him what I was wanting to do. And so we have a meeting, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, and how can you, yes, this is COVID. This is the problem. Now, how are you going to solve the problem?
Come on, man.
So that's what I'm doing. And so that's how COVID has affected me. It is giving me the ability to be more creative, to reach deep down and pull out, not be so surface, not be so timid, not be afraid just because, I'm hearing people say, that's not going to happen because they shut down this, or, a lot of people ain't doing catering anymore because of COVID. All right, maybe not for y'all. But for me, I just I cooked a meal Thursday. Listen, I did something Thursday for someone for this company, and from that they was like, I'm telling everybody about you. I have been talking, and I ended up getting another message the other night. I have a conference on Monday. Because somebody just heard about me. So it's like the different ways. You can't just allow yourself to be limited by, take away the chatter of what everybody else is saying. You got to rise above that. So COVID has really given me like the ability or the resting period to really write, to really come up with strategies, to really see, get a bird's eye view of who I am. Am I in it just for the name of being a brand or an entrepreneur, or am I in it because I have this is my assignment? Am I doing this because this is my actual purpose, and I'm not just here just because it's the next fad or the next trend, everybody getting business, so I want a business. No, this is who I am. This is what I'm supposed to leave in the earth. And so I'm going to do everything within I leave no stone unturned. I tell you, if I could reach out to the, like, give me, hey, I can talk. I've talked to anybody. I will met because I had to learn. Like, a closed mouth won't get fed. If you know you're suffering, if you know your business, like they may not be, someone that you personally know, but
Mhm.
you know, you can find ways to reach out to people like I did. I'm like, I'm messaging this executive chef, you know what I'm saying? He's
Yeah,
won awards, he's been in Mac, you know, I'm getting a chance to talk with this person. I
yeah.
was so privileged. I was like, oh
Make sure you record it.
my God,
Go back and do it. Watch it again.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
grab
It's
everything.
man, so this experience, you know, this COVID, it's only pulling out the the realness, the like it's teaching you really what's on the inside. So
Yeah,
yeah, COVID has been it's been great. I love it. You know what I'm saying? People
yeah.
may hate it, whatever. I'm loving it. It's giving me a new outlook on doing business or presenting myself, you know.
Awesome. That's awesome. That's good to hear that you're still growing in COVID,
Hmm.
especially when a lot of people aren't. So that's awesome.
Exactly.
That is awesome.
Even
So
with you, even this, like for you to reach out to me, because I let me tell you what I was honestly thinking. I was thinking that you was wanting me to listen to a podcast. Like you wanted me to like evaluate or like, cause oh, she got a podcast, so she might enjoy this particular. I had no idea that you were wanting me to be on a, a guest. Also, when I actually got the email, I was like, oh, he want me. Okay, well then let me get myself together in another way. That took me, but I was like, so I'm the one. It's me. It is them. I'm on the show.
and that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
So the growth has been real.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm respecting greater. Sure.
Exactly.
So what are the things that you've implemented during COVID to keep your business coming in or to keep it safe?
Writing my vision.
Ooh,
I write. I go back and look at where I was, where I am, what has, what am I write it. I make sure that my goals, okay, if I have to reconstruct something, I go back and reconstruct it. I have like 1,001 notebooks. Everything probably have one line for one vision. And you know, it's
yeah.
not all, it's not full. I just have 1,000. I just write it. I'm like, oh, give me a book. I need something to write in real quick, you
Yeah.
know. And so I keep it covered, you know, through prayer. I tell you, I kid you not, I pray. I ask God to give me the direction. I ask God, this belongs to Him, you
Mhm.
know, and so I give it back to Him. And so, and then making sure that presenting my
Mhm.
presentation, you know, I show up, I make sure that, you know, what I say on Facebook matches what I say off of Facebook. You know, this is my life. You know, I don't say one thing somewhere else and then behind the closed door I'm a totally different person. This is me. So what I present to the world, this is me. Listen, if I don't like you on Facebook, I ain't gonna like you off of Facebook. If I don't like you in
Wow.
real life, I'm not going to
I'm so glad you
pretend.
like me. Because I could be wild sometimes on Facebook.
No,
But it's me though, you know. It's me.
you know, some people want to, you know, oh, you Facebook friends or social media friends, but you don't have anything. Listen, if you have a problem with me, you know, just like real life, you know, I'm going to go to you
Yep.
privately. I'm going to take you to the side and say, hey, you know what? If you have an issue with me, let's go handle this. So it's just making sure that my integrity, that's
Mhm.
how I keep my business, who I am intact. It's integrity is everything to me.
Mhm.
So wherever I go, whatever I do, I make sure I'm writing, make sure I'm keeping a prayer life, and making sure I'm walking in integrity.
Come on, man. That is awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous. Hey, that's a hard thing to do sometimes.
it is. I ain't gonna lie.
Hard thing to do sometimes.
Sometimes I be wanting to tell. I have to watch. I be want. You don't know how many times I delete a post because I be want to tell people off.
You know how many posts I got that nobody sees?
Yeah.
Literally. And they pop up in my
Yes.
memories. I'm like, well,
Oh,
I didn't post that. But it's
exactly.
one of those things like I just had to get it out there though.
Yeah.
Nobody can see it, but I had to get it
I
out.
just had to, you know, man, like this is not for the public. This is so I write about it. I just take it to my secret, my journals, and I just write. I was like,
Yeah.
you know, but so yeah, it's hard. I'm telling you, especially when you're faced in this world with, you know, so many people are um their mindset is conforming to what goes on in society.
Yeah.
you know, and then so it's hard to kind of keep yourself separated and being like not allowing everything else to get into you and influence you, how you speak, or being
Mm.
petty and all this. I don't do petty. I don't
Yeah.
be petty. I'm not going to operate in petty because that's a mirror of my business, my brand, you
Yeah.
know. So if I'm operating, if I'm on Facebook or social media and I'm talking, oh, y'all need to, you know, just because I learned something different, I don't, you know, what is the word? I don't look down on anybody else or
Yeah.
be so harsh because somebody else don't know these things. You
Yeah.
know, I there's a lot of people I've seen who, you know, they maybe become a makeup artist and now they're a makeup artist. They go in, oh, you don't need to be wearing that. You know, if y'all
Mm.
ladies out there, you don't, but you want somebody to come to your business, but you're talking this type of way.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a reflection of your brand, of who you are. You're trying to market to. Yes, the people that you're going to get to follow you are going to be the ones that's messy, just like you. But real
Yep.
people who ain't about that drama, about that type of life, they're going to shun away because
Yeah.
they're not. You know, like how you gonna? I wouldn't want somebody. I wouldn't want to be associated. You know, so that's I try to keep my. I don't do the gossiping. I don't do all of those things because that's a reflection
Mhm.
and I'm only going to attract messiness. And
Yeah.
I'm not attracting messiness. You
Yeah.
know, a lot of people don't even come to me with gossiping because they know I will shut it down.
Yeah.
You don't come to talk to me about anybody else. I don't allow it. You
Yeah.
know, either it's I'm a problem solver. So what we gonna do to fix the situation?
Yeah. Are you doing that?
That's it.
Okay, we'll bring
Yeah,
him in. Let's talk
that's
about it.
it. Let's
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 figure it out.
let let us all break bread together and have a nice dinner and see what's going on. But you can't come to me with everything because
Yeah.
I just don't allow it, and I don't want that to infiltrate in anything else that I do. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
hard, but it's hard out there. You feel like you're standing alone a lot of
Yeah.
times. You feel like you're by yourself, when you are choosing to operate in a different manner. So
Yeah. Hey, and it's one of the biggest flaws too. So it's kind of like, what I mean, you out here being messy and petty, and then boom, next thing you know, you fail. Trying to
hmm
figure out why. Well, what you
exactly.
doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're gonna be respectful to people. So
hmm You're putting that out there into the universe. You're putting that into the atmosphere. So
yeah,
you're really not going to. You don't have a good foundation. That's
yeah,
my thing. Having another thing is having a good foundation,
mm,
making sure your foundation is built on something solid. And
yeah,
so, and that's what I try to do to make sure what I'm doing is stand up, stand afloat. Is
mm,
my foundation got to be intact?
yeah,
So with the knowledge, with the books that I read, with the seminars that I may attend, and with the people, just so I make sure that I'm currently reading guerrilla marketing.
okay,
It's a really good book. I can't think of the person name or anything like that, but it's a really good book to where it's giving you actual tools. And
mm,
and I realize some books that I've gotten where they just do a lot of talking, but they still ain't give you nothing. So
exactly,
this is the one that I really, I'm going to get all the collection of the guerrilla marketing and stuff like that. And so I'm implementing those things. So it takes some time because I study and I make sure that I'm building the foundation and not just, oh, I got this idea, now I'm going to go and do it. So it's taking time out to understand, consume it, and making sure that you're applying it little by little to see how it works for you. So guerrilla marketing is another, if you want to find ways to build your foundation, is get some really good books. Really, that's helping you with your foundation. Listen to the Warren Buffetts, listen to read the Dale Carnegie, and all these people, Brian, this one guy that I listen to, Brian Tracy. So that's how you build a very good foundation.
mm, awesome. That is awesome. Foundation is definitely key. I know it may be hard to see COVID not being here, but how do you see your life after COVID?
Hey, I'm wealthy. Listen,
Come on here.
my vision, it hadn't changed anything.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed. COVID hasn't deterred anything. I am going to be wiser, even more an influencer, even more greater influence. The impact in the community is going to be even more greater. So life after, once I'm able to like get out there in the streets for real and
Yeah.
do what everything that I'm doing behind the scenes or what you see on social media and da da da, it's only going to be I'm able to do it in a different area, in a different way now. Like I'm able to go outside the four walls or whatever and not just talking like, hey, y'all already know who I was before. So this is nothing new.
Yeah.
So yeah, greater. After COVID, it's just going to be, life is going to be popping. I'm able to go and touch people. I'm a personal person. I'm able to go and like, actually, hi buddy, give me a hug. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Be in that, really do meetups like I want to, and not just networking, but go and talk to everybody that I've been making friends with. Like I want to go to New York. I want to go and meet those people that I met in New York. I want to go, to California, wherever, where I've been meeting people that I've been building this relationship with, and just like, let's, like COVID, we free. Let's meet up. Like
exactly.
drinks on who? Like, come on, what we eat, what we doing? So life after COVID is going to be booming. I just feel great about life after COVID because I'm in the planning season now.
Yeah.
And so after it, I'm be able to implement even more those plans that I've been doing behind closed doors. Yeah. So I'm excited.
That's awesome.
I'm excited about 2021. I don't care what Trump is doing.
Yeah.
I don't care who's storming what,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because I've never been the one to sit there and watch politics and base my life off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't pay my bills.
Yeah.
Give me my vision on my mind. You don't give me my peace, you can't take it away. So
yeah. So this stuff, I'm very excited.
That is
I'm
awesome.
ready.
That is awesome. All right, so 2 more questions before we close out.
Okay.
And then the first one is, what do you believe your superpower is?
I love Marvel and DC and all. So my superpower is the ability to stretch. I'm Elastigirl. I'm Elastigirl all the way. Incredible. So the ability to be flexible, to stretch. I mean, so many people don't have it, and they bend and they break under pressure. They don't have the capacity in order to go from like up and down in COVID and being furloughed and having to run it. They crash. They don't have the. I've been flexible since forever in a day. So this superpower that I have to be flexible, that's it. I'm a Elastigirl for real.
Flexibility is key.
Yes.
Especially when it's year like 2020.
Who you telling? So that stretching alone, oh my goodness. And I didn't break, and we didn't break, and we're still standing. And like, even with you, it didn't break you. You coming out with this show, this podcast, they help other people. I'm like, dude, come on now. So hey, I'm excited. So that's it. That's me, Elastigirl. I'm gonna put that up on my Facebook. Huh?
I just didn't get caught up in the hype.
That's it. That's so true.
It's there. Okay. Your point is what? I wear the mask when I need to wear the mask.
Mm-hmm.
I'll use safety precautions, but it doesn't define me. Mm-hmm. It's not me.
Exactly.
So if you could have any superpower, like if you could actually any superpower, what would it be?
If I actually, I think that would be, I don't know. I want to be the greatest problem solver.
You think?
Yeah, that's what I want to be. That's my superpower. I would want to have the ability to solve any problem. Yeah.
Imagine what you could do with that.
I know. Oh. I said, why is there a kitty stuck in the tree? I know I could get it, I just any problem.
Sit there and look at it. Like, you gotta do this.
Yeah. There it is. I'll be able to see all of the different avenues to take. And I think that's why I like public relations. I think I feel like that's the reason why, because I'm able to analyze things. I'm able to see where a person is, where their business is, and all those things. And I'm able to come up with the best plan for them to reach their goal. If it's making a profit, if it's getting them out, whatever the case may be, so I feel like that's why I'm so passionate about public relations and being a strategist at that, because I can solve the problems. Yes. So excited.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So before we close out, tell our viewers and listeners how can they find you?
So you guys can find me on my personal page, Facebook page, because I like to be personal. Okay, so Kristy Smith is my personal page. I don't hardly ever push any of the other ones because I'm like, get to know me. I want to get to know you, and you'll choose whether or not you're interested in anything else. So Kristy Smith. But if you want to know anything else, my I have a Twitter. It's Kristy Angeli. I have the Instagram. It's the real Kristy Angeli, and I have yeah, those areas. We're just gonna keep it with that. But if you follow Kristy Smith, you'll be able to get connected to anything else concerning me.
Awesome. Awesome. And that's Kristy
Hmm.
Smith on Facebook. So
Yes.
awesome. Well, thank you for joining us.
Oh, my pleasure.
Talk with Buddy. It was a pleasure. It was
Yes.
awesome. I enjoyed
I
it.
I have to.